The Department of Children and Families is now explaining its involvement with a 12-year-old Jacqueline Torres-Garcia, whose remains were found in New Britain.
DCF has faced intense questioning since it was revealed the department had been involved with the family.
Newly released arrest warrants detail what led police to charge the child's mother, her mother's boyfriend, and her aunt.
Hold on. I can't do it right now. And you're not letting me be. And if I fucking keep doing this, I'm probably going to be on myself.
And was looking for warehouse style work. Does have high school education and a little bit beyond that as well. Some medical issues reported to our office, prior substance use, no mental health issues reported.
We have a sad case where this body was hidden in the home for over, or I should say almost a year. And they were underage. And it was the mom, the boyfriend, and the auntie who did it all. Very sad situation. Welcome back. This is Fugitive TV. Welcome to everybody who's just now looking at my channel. I look at these cases from my perspective, which is coming from a fugitive lens, because once I was a fugitive on the run from the law, I also was in jail myself. I also did time. I was in prison. I went to boot camp prison, all kind of things. That was a long time ago. Now I am doing good in life, and what I'm trying to do is use my experience to help others or inspire others. And welcome back for anybody who's been here from day one or from any other cases looking at my channel. Please like, subscribe, and hit your notification bell, all right? We're talking about today is the case of Mimi Torres, all right? Mimi Torres-Garcia. So Mimi Torres-Garcia, and I'm going to give you guys a little timeline. I'm also going to give you a timeline and read that for you. But Mimi Torres-Garcia was unalived a year ago, okay? And by her own mom. And wait till you hear how.
She was my love. She was everything for me.
Investigators believe she had been for about a year.
Jacqueline's body was kept in the family's basement and subsequently moved when the family relocated from Farmington in March of 2025.
Police saying the people responsible were those closest to Mimi. Her mother, Carla Garcia, the mother's boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita, both charged with Mimi's aunt, Jacqueline Garcia, charged with cruelty and unlawful restraint.
No child should ever have to endure such suffering.
And the reason why. She was unalived by her own mom a year ago, the mom and the boyfriend actually, and they hid her in the basement of their home. And it stank so bad that they ended up even moving out and living with other people, friends, I guess, and some hotels because it smelled so bad. The boyfriend ended up taking her, putting her in a bin and dropping her off at an abandoned house. And that was where she was discovered at. And she was discovered because it was a tip from a neighbor caught him doing it. Well, I'm going to break down a little bit of exactly what happened, a little bit of a timeline, so you guys can understand, because this case is crazy. The auntie is even arrested, okay? The auntie is arrested in on this. And what makes it even sad is that the girl, her nickname is Mimi, but her real name is Jacqueline. She was named after her auntie. Her auntie's name is Jacqueline. So you're going to hear both of those names a lot. So just remember, there's a Jacqueline, an auntie, and there's a Jacqueline who is the daughter, who is Mimi, okay, who was 11. All right, she was 11. Now, the auntie has a past of abuse on her own KIDS, okay? She was abusing her own KIDS, all right? And went to jail for it. The mother was in jail when she gave birth to Mimi. The boyfriend has a violent past against a police officer, all right? It just gets worse and worse with these individuals. Now, I didn't look into the full details of what the mom was already in jail for when she gave birth to Mimi, which was like 12 years ago. I didn't look into that yet because there's so much going on right now. This video is, it's so much going on. You're going to see. I'm going to show you body cam footage of them getting arrested. I'm going to show you body cam footage of the police even going to the house. The police was going to the house several times. And between that year, when Mimi was even at the house, DCF was even involved with this family. And they were fooling DCF by using another child, claiming this child was Mimi. Now, the mom, Carla, she has 5 kids. She's got 5 kids, all right? 3 of them, or I should say 2 of them, are with Mimi's dad. Now, Mimi's dad is still around. Mimi's dad is Victor. Mimi's dad is still around, but he claims he hasn't seen her for the year. And there's a new boyfriend who is Jonathan. Jonathan and Carla have 3 kids together. Now, like I said, she passed away pretty much a year ago. Jacqueline's mother, Carla Garcia, 29, and her boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita, 30, have been charged with unaliving with special circumstances and other offenses related to the child's unaliving. Now, Carla Garcia's sister, Jacqueline Garcia, 28, is also charged with unlawful restraint, intentional cruelty to a child, and risk of injury in the case because she was documenting everything. Crazy. According to court documents, Carla Garcia is the mother of 5 children. 2, including Jacqueline, are from her relationship with Victor Torres, while 3 others, including an infant born in January, are with Nanita. So she already has 5 children. 2 are with a relationship with Victor, which is her prior, and then 3 others are with Nanita, which is her new boyfriend. Police interviews and state records show a pattern of instability with the family leading up to the time when Carla Garcia was granted full custody of Jacqueline and her younger siblings in June 2024. So DCF was already involved with this and pretty much going back and forth the whole time with her. Within months, police say Jacqueline was unalived with her mother, her aunt, and Anita, trying to hide the unaliving for nearly a year. As Jacqueline was dying in her mother's care, Carla Garcia was pregnant with her 5th child. Okay? Now, that's poor Mimi right there. That's Mimi. So, Mimi was born to Carla Garcia, who was living in a state detention facility. So at this time, Carla was in jail. She was in jail when she gave birth to Mimi. It seems like this girl already had a bad start even from birth. That is crazy. According to the State Department of Children and Families, the agency placed the baby in care of a paternal relative. Wish she would have stayed with the paternal relative. Wow. Shortly after, legal guardianship of the infant was transferred to the paternal relative by the Superior Court for Juvenile Matters. DCF said in a statement issued on October 17th. So they took her away at one point, but then gave her back. In August 2013, DCF closed the case with the family, with Jacqueline remaining under the legal guardianship of the paternal relative until May of 2022. Now, the state remains in Mimi's life as she is placed with relatives. So when they place her, the state, continues to check up on her, right? Even as Jacqueline remained with legal guardian, DCF provided services to the family, including her younger siblings, according to the agency in February 2016. Jacqueline's younger sibling also was placed in the care of the legal guardian DCF. Now, Child Protection Agency still involved with the family. So this is from 2017 to 2021. Child Protective Services is still involved, okay? DCF briefly was involved with the family based on reports involving Jacqueline's younger sibling. The agency said the guardian allowed Jacqueline's parents, Carla Garcia and Victor Torres, regular access to the children during the period. So DCF was briefly involved, all right? But the guardian allowed Jacqueline's parents, Carla Garcia and Victor, to have regular access to the child, all right? Now, at this time, Jacqueline is still with the relatives, I guess, that she was placed under. So she's not with the mom and dad. She's with the relatives, right? Carla Garcia is convicted of third-degree assault after she flew into a jealous rage and repeatedly punched a woman, according to the record of 2019. So she was convicted in 2019 of a jealous rage and was punching a woman, maybe over her man. When you hear jealous rage, usually that's what it was over, right? Her boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita, nearly dragged a New Britain police officer when he fled a traffic cop in 2020. Wow. So these two already have records of violence. He has one on a cop. Carla Garcia received a suspended sentence and 2 years of probation on April 9th, 2019 for third-degree assault, according to judicial branch records. Nanita's traffic stop case also ended with misdemeanor convictions. He was sentenced to a year in jail. So he got a year in jail for that misdemeanor. In 2022, this is when Victor and Carla are trying to get their rights back for Mimi. Now, the aunt is under investigation for assault in 2022 of her own. This family, man, this family. This reminds me of the, I don't know if you guys been following, but the Jake Harrow kind of reminds me of this situation a little bit, because even that family was messed up. New Britain police began an investigation of Jacqueline Garcia based on injuries that a minor who was under the age of 5 in her case sustained, according to an arrest warrant, that she had a broken, several other injuries, and were in varying states of healing, which police believe were indications of abuse. The warrant said Jacqueline Garcia's relationship to is unclear since the warrant is redacted. So redacted meaning they took a lot of stuff out of the warrant that we can't see or read. It was blacked out. All right, so in 2022, juvenile court places Jacqueline Garcia Torres back with her parents. So Jacqueline, aka Mimi, because there's two Jacquelines. You remember this. Jacqueline is the aunt, and then Jacqueline is also the daughter of Carla, which is the remains they found, but they also call her Mimi. Now, after that, in September 2022, DCF investigates complaints against family but finds no neglect. So somebody pretty much called and said, complained, so they had to go investigate. That's pretty much what that is. A DCF investigation concerning Jacqueline's younger siblings determined that Jacqueline and the other children were safe and visible to the community. DCF said they were enrolled in school and that their medical provider didn't express any concerns. In June 27, 2023, Jacqueline, who's the aunt, who Mimi is named after, was charged with abusing her own. Jacqueline Garcia is charged with the risk of injury to a KID in a connection with a suspected case of abuse that New Britain police believe occurred around February 2022 and earlier, possibly dating back to 2021. So there's been a history already with the aunt doing these things. Jacqueline Garcia moves in with her sister's family on and off for a few months. A search warrant obtained by Farmington police said during that time, she notices that her sister and Anita are withholding food from Jacqueline and using zip ties to restrain the child, a search warrant said. Jacqueline Garcia later told Farmington police in an interview after October 8th that in the summer 2024, she knew the 11-year-old girl was going to pass, and she had witnessed patterns of the abuse in weeks before believed to have passed away. Wow. The mom withdrew Mimi from school, okay? 2024, guilty plea for the aunt in that abuse case. So in 2024, she pleads guilty. Now, in September 19th, 2024, which is pretty much a week after she pled guilty, Jacqueline tells police in October during an interview after Jacqueline's remains were found. So Jacqueline, the auntie, okay, like I said, there's two Jacquelines, so it gets confusing. Jacqueline Garcia tells police in October during an interview after Mimi's remains were found that her sister Carla recently said that the girl passed on September 9th, 2024. Police said they believe that she passed in the fall of 2024 and that her remains were kept in the basement of the condominium the family rented. Wow. Now, by September 2024, Carla was also pregnant with her fifth child. Now,
many are trying to retrace their steps to see what clues or opportunities may have been missed that could have prevented this happening to Mimi Garcia.
One of the things NBC Connecticut Investigates is looking at in the warrants released today are new interactions with police and child welfare workers that Mimi's family had that we didn't previously know about. Chief Investigator Len Bestoff is joining us now with what we've learned. Len.
Well, Keisha, Mike, we got a lot of new information coming in, especially on a day when you get 3 arrest warrants. That's a lot of new details to go over. And the best estimate based on court documents is that Mimi in late September 2024. Her remains were found earlier this month, almost a year later.
Court and police documents obtained by NBC Connecticut Investigates show police got called out to 11-year-old Mimi Garcia's Farmington home 4 times from last September through this February, all noise-related. The first time was September 28th, possibly just days after Mimi Garcia died. Police showed up twice on December 29th and once again February 2nd.
Farmington police are called to the home of Carla Garcia by a neighbor who said they can hear repeated banging, little kids running around and making a lot of noise. According to a police report, the neighbor said the incidents have been going on for months, and she heard an adult say she was going to break their... I mean, my mom's told me that a couple times, but she's never broke. Police didn't make contact with anyone at Carlos Garcia's home, but left a note that said, or the report that said that day. So pretty much they left a note or left a card when they can't get a hold of you, like, what police usually do.
You got a lot going on. I'm sorry.
I don't want to think I have to my kids for I did too.
Of course. Of course. Is there anyone you want us to call to come down?
Because I have her phone on her right now. Can you find my phone?
Yeah, we'll look for it. Well, because we want to get you somebody down here for support.
I need to talk to... I need my sister.
What's her name?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline what?
I'm her sponsor.
What's her last name?
Everything up.
Okay.
Sister lives on Kelsey Street? No, she lives with me. And no, they everything up.
On Fairview?
What's gonna happen to my sister? She's on parole.
On Dwight? She lives over there?
Tremont with me.
Is
your sister there? Yes. And they were trying to attack her. You seen it? Yeah, I got our whole shift out there, okay?
Yeah, the whole shift's out there.
Garcia told authorities that her children, they were supposed to be at a cousin's home in New Britain, but then police say they visited that home on Dwight Street and they couldn't account for one child, and that child was Jacqueline Torres. According to Garcia's arrest affidavit, detectives then told her in an interview they didn't know where Jacqueline was. Now, we don't have video of that conversation yet, but police say Garcia appeared surprised upon hearing this. Garcia reportedly acted surprised, repeatedly asking, quote, "What do you mean?" She said all her kids were supposed to be at Dwight Street and claimed that they were there when she left. Now, when asked if Jacqueline could have been with a friend or dropped off elsewhere, Garcia said no. Now, that was on October 9th. 2 days later, on October 11th, police seemed at that point to have had enough of Garcia's story, and they responded to her house, where her sister also lived, and put them under arrest.
When they got arrested, okay, and I'm going to break this down for you, just in case you don't know. When you get arrested, and you get arrested with co-defendants, okay, they're going to take you in separate interrogation rooms, just like you see in a movie sometimes. I'm pretty sure you guys see it. And that's kind of how it happens. They'll have one person in one room, another person in another room, another person in the other room. And then what they'll do is they'll interview you separate. Sometimes there'll be an investigator in one room at the same time investigators, in this room. It just all depends. But a lot of times it'll be the same 2 investigators or whatever it is. They're taking your story and everybody else's story, right? Now, what they're going to do is they're going to see if all these stories collab. You know, now if everybody's keeping their mouth shut, or there's differences in the stories, then what the investigators will come do is they'll try and get the truth out of you in these manipulative, I can't even say the word, in these convincing ways. All right, so they'll go into the interrogation room and they'll say something like, "Hey, I don't know why you're lying to us. Your boyfriend told us everything that happened. He already told us everything that happened. So you might as well tell us the truth if you want to save yourself." Now, they didn't come out and say that he snitched or told on you. It's how they say it. Your boyfriend already told us the truth. He told us everything that happened. So you might as well come out and say what happened so you can save yourself. You get it? It's all mind games. Even though the boyfriend of the room probably didn't say nothing, he could have kept his mouth shut. He could have said, "I want to see a lawyer." He didn't say nothing, but they'll come in the room saying that. Now, if you fall for that, now you spilling the beans. That's pretty much what happened here of how they got the truth. All right. So first they arrested the mom and the auntie, and I'll show you the cam footage of that. Okay.
The dog's still in the house? Jonathan, are you in there? If you didn't come out, in here? Got her. Maybe got her. We'll grab one. They got a closet here. Yep.
Farmington, I'm gonna open the door for you.
So they arrest the mom and the auntie, right? And they arrest them first and they interrogate them. And the mom at first is blaming everything on the boyfriend. She's blaming everything on the boyfriend at first, right?
How you doing, Jacqueline?
I'm good. How are you? Oh, wait. Same
It's
person.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn around.
Why?
Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest.
For what? Hard.
We'll explain to you.
Can you grab my phone?
Yeah, we can grab your phone for you.
It's in the room.
Here?
No, not that one.
I appreciate you being cooperative, okay? Let me...
I'm just wondering.
I'll explain everything. You good?
Yeah.
You comfortable here? Whoops. Is that okay for right now? You got anything on you?
No.
No?
But can you please just grab my phone?
Yeah, where is it?
It's
That's
in
right.
the room.
Which one's that?
This one.
Well, that's your phone?
No, it's in my
Oh, whose phone is that?
That's my friend's.
Okay. Hey, just have a seat. Good?
Yeah, that one. Thank you.
Somebody took the dogs?
Yeah.
Now she's claiming she's scared of the boyfriend, that the boyfriend is going to unalive her and everybody else that's in the family. And that the boyfriend's the one who did it, saying that the boyfriend was mad at Mimi who her real name is Jacqueline. The boyfriend was mad at Mimi because Mimi was being such a bad kid, and that Mimi was also making Carla, who's Mimi's mom, depressed. So Mimi was making her own mom depressed because Mimi didn't like the fact that Carla kept getting pregnant with the boyfriend's kid, because she was also pregnant with a fifth child. 5. Unbelievable, right? So she was also pregnant with a fifth child, and supposedly Mimi didn't like this idea. The boyfriend supposedly took Mimi and threw her down the steps, and then stepped on her, and basically that was how she passed. He used his foot on top of her head. It's very gruesome, okay? Now, Garcia continued to deny knowing what had happened to Jacqueline, who was Mimi, but said Nanita, who's her boyfriend, would know. So she's basically blaming it on him. She stated that the last time she saw Mimi was when Nanita took her approximately about 8 months earlier. So that would have been earlier this year. She's claiming that's the last time she ever saw her. While they were living in Farmington, Garcia stated that Nanita did not like Jacqueline because she was making her depressed, and she didn't like the idea that she was pregnant with another one of his children. Garcia stated Jacqueline threw her down a flight of stairs when they were living in Farmington. Garcia explained that she was 6 months pregnant at the time. Garcia stated that after the incident, she didn't know where Anita took Jacqueline, but she never came back and she never reported to the police. All this because you were supposedly scared. Come on now, let's make it make sense. And then she is also saying that Garcia stated that Nanita did not like Jacqueline because she was making her depressed. So she's basically saying that the boyfriend was mad at Mimi because Mimi was making the mom depressed because the mom was pregnant. So the boyfriend went and did something to her. Come on now. So the detective informed her that Nanita, who's the boyfriend, had already told detectives what happened. So they went back to her and told her that the boyfriend already said what happened. Then Garcia claimed he was lying. When asked if Nanita had unalived Mimi, Garcia said yes, explaining that Jacqueline had fallen down the stairs and then Nanita had compressed on her head. Garcia stated that Jacqueline was bleeding a little and she was still moving. Garcia stated that Nanita proceeded to pick up Jacqueline and throw her down the second set of stairs leading to the basement. She said she did not know what happened afterwards, but that Nanita later told her he put Jacqueline in a bag, and what this is blanked out. Garcia said Nanita had been dealing with it and that she was not the one covering it up. Garcia said she did not tell anyone because she was afraid of Nanita, who had threatened to unalive her through text messages. She attempted to show the detectives messages, but never produced any. So this whole time she's claiming, the boyfriend is responsible. The boyfriend threw her down the stairs, then compressed on her head, using his foot, and then took her and threw her down into the basement and then locked her in a bag. Very gruesome. Now, just to let you guys know, I am going to be starting a Patreon soon. I already have it up, and I'm going to be putting videos on my Patreon. My videos on my Patreon is going to be unedited because on Patreon, I don't have to really watch what I have to say, and I really don't have to show or watch what I have to show. So my Patreon is going to be unedited. So I am going to put a link below, okay? And I'm going to be putting videos on my Patreon starting this weekend with this case, Ellen Greenberg, and some other cases, just to let you guys know. I don't have to edit anything on there. So it's going to be raw and unfiltered. So it's easier to do it on there. But back to this situation. So she's blaming everything on the boyfriend, right? Everything is blamed on him. Now, of course, after they arrest the mom and the auntie, now remember, they get arrested first. The boyfriend actually pretty much goes on the run. Now, here's cam footage of him when they caught him.
Hold on. Hey, hold on. Hey.
Give us your hands!
Hold on.
Okay, Scott, he's
Hold on.
You got one leg stuck.
Okay.
My arm!
Cuffs?
My face!
Hold on.
Hold on.
Move this face!
Hold on. Pull him out. Pull.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Put him in cuffs. Put him in cuffs first.
My face!
I know.
My face!
Don't fight.
My face! I can't feel my face, I'm bleeding.
Hold on.
What's your name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan what?
Nanita.
No, it's not. What is it?
Jonathan Anita. It's Jonathan Anita, I swear. Ah!
Want to pull him out?
Ah!
Hey, drive him to you.
Ah! Why'd you guys kick me? Why'd you guys beat me up?
I put you in handcuffs, dude.
Dude, y'all beat me up.
I didn't beat you up.
Yes, I did, bro.
Listen, bro, you'll get checked out. Don't you worry about it.
Come on, bro. Y'all didn't have to do that, though. I was gonna turn myself in. Y'all didn't have to do that.
Turn yourself in.
You guys didn't have to do any of that.
Little late for that.
Should have turned yourself in a while ago.
I was gonna. I was. You guys didn't have to do any of that, man. I didn't even do that to that girl, bro. I didn't. I'm over here trying to clear my name.
Yep. You'll have your time to talk, buddy.
So after they catch him, he's sitting there talking about, I was gonna turn myself in. Bro, if you was gonna turn yourself in, why are you running? Why are you running from them right now, leading on this chase? So he's claiming that he had nothing to do with it. He didn't do nothing or whatever. So they interrogate him. He's blaming everything pretty much on Jacqueline, who's the auntie, and on Carla, who's the mom. Well, the interrogators, their detectives, go back to Carla and they pretty much tell Carla what I just told you. Hey, he's in there. He told us everything. So you might as well give us the beans. So Carla ends up giving them like 3 different stories, okay? They're kind of different, but they all are a violent story resulting in some sort of accidental leading to a passing, right? So what does it for her is they show Carla autopsy photos of Mimi. And when she sees the photos of Mimi, now I'll give you a brief description. Remember, she's 11, right? But at that time, she only weighed between 25 and 30 pounds.
The autopsy did not find any obvious signs of recent trauma, but it noted severe and prolonged malnourishment. Now, this directly contradicts the story that Jacqueline's mom had given to police of a violent stairs. Police then showed photographic autopsy evidence, and Garcia's story collapsed. She began to admit that she allegedly played a role in Jacqueline's death. According to the affidavit, when she was shown a photograph of Jacqueline restrained in zip ties and lying on pee pads, she later admitted that she did apply zip ties to Jacqueline on 2 occasions after she was told to do so by Jonathan Nanita. Garcia also admitted that she was forced by Nanita to withhold food from Jacqueline.
They saw marks on her wrist, marks on her hands. She was in a fetal position inside of the bin. And remember, she was already gone for about a year. So she was in bad shape. So they showed Carla pictures of that. And this is what Carla says that happened. She said that she pretty much starts blaming Mimi along with the boyfriend, but Mimi. She said Mimi was being bad and they couldn't get her to listen. So it was the boyfriend's idea to zip tie her and throw her in the basement. Carla would come back and pretty much say, hey, Mimi's hungry. And then the boyfriend would say, let's not feed her. She doesn't deserve food. So they didn't feed her, okay? They did not feed her. Eventually, that was how she passed. Now nourishment. She from starvation. She starved. That is unimaginable. I mean, think about that. When you even get hungry, you have pains in your stomach, right? So think about just starving to death. That was how she was unalived. And they did this to her own, somebody that came out of her, she did it to. So that's crazy. And it's sad to think about because I had a child who passed away when he was 3. He passed away in a car accident when I was locked up. So to this day, I can't think about losing a a loved one, let alone somebody who you're supposed to protect and raise. And you think you're supposed to protect them, but these people aren't even protecting them. They're starving her. They don't even deserve to live, if you ask me. But that's me. But continue on with them. The auntie who Mimi is named after, okay? The auntie, now remember I told you the auntie already got in trouble and sentenced for abusing her own. And the auntie, when she leaves jail, she has to go live with Carla, her sister. And while she's there, this stuff is happening, and the auntie's documenting it. She has pictures of Mimi zip tied up, laying on puppy pee pads. Laying on puppy pee pads. She's taking pictures of her doing this.
Nanita says that he admitted to moving the tote that was found behind the vacant house, but he framed it as he was just doing a simple favor for Garcia. He told police, quote, Garcia contacted him and asked him to dispose of the tote that was outside her apartment building near the garbage. He drove to Garcia's apartment on Tremont Street in New Britain with his current girlfriend, then placed the tote in his truck, and per the instructions of Garcia, he drove to a nearby cemetery to hide the tote. Now, Nanita stated that Garcia helped him load the bin into the truck. She denied that. Police then asked Nanita what was in the bin, and this is what he reportedly said. Quote, he first stated that he did not know who was in the bin. The officer asked Nanita again, who is in the bin? And he shrugged and said, I haven't seen Jacqueline. An officer then asked if he knew it was Jacqueline, and he nodded yes. Now, while Carla Garcia described a violent, bloody attack on Jacqueline, Nanita claimed that he was merely a witness to the aftermath of an unknown event and that Garcia and her sister were present and responsible. He allegedly told detectives that he walked into the Farmington home and, quote, saw blood all over the walls along the staircase. Nanita stated that Garcia and 4 of the kids were upstairs in a room, but Jacqueline Torres-Garcia was missing. Nanita stated that he panicked and left the apartment without knowing what happened. Now, he claimed he returned the next day to find the blood cleaned up, and he never saw Jacqueline again, and that was that. He denied ever harming Jacqueline, and police say he suggested during his interview that it was Garcia who was responsible, his ex-girlfriend, and Mimi Torres's mom.
All these people need to go away, man. I can't even think about that's insane. That's crazy. I mean, what do you guys think about these 3 people? Now, their bonds are high. 5 million, 5 million, and 1 million. They do have high bonds. I mean, what do you think should happen with these 3? Should they get life? Penalty? Execution? What do you think? Y'all let me know. All right?
Now, as for Jacqueline Garcia, that's the victim's aunt, the woman who seemed so shocked that she was under arrest.
I'm good. How are you? Oh, wait. Same
It's
person.
me, yeah. Turn around.
Why?
Put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest.
For what? Hard.
We'll explain to you. We'll explain
Can
in
you
a
grab my
second.
phone?
The arrest warrant for Jacqueline Garcia reveals that she was not merely a witness to the abuse of her niece, but according to police, she was an active participant who actually documented the horrific conditions and, by her own admission, watched the neglect happen. Her first interview on the evening of October 8th was conducted while police say she was severely intoxicated and that she painted a picture of a normal, happy family. But by the next day, during her second interview, she was sober, and police say she admitted that she had not seen her niece in a long time. Quote, Jacqueline stated that she had just found out everything yesterday, but admitted to not having seen Jacqueline in months. The interview took a turn when another detective entered the room and informed Jacqueline that her sister Carla had stated that she was present for the abuse and took the photograph of Mimi restrained in zip ties. Confronted with this evidence, Jacqueline's defense crumbled. She began to confirm the horrific details of Mimi's life. Now, according to the affidavit, Jacqueline Garcia confirmed that her niece, Jacqueline, was deprived of food and made to stand in the corner. She confirmed that her sister, Carla, and Carla's boyfriend, Anita, zip-tied Jacqueline as punishment and often kept her in the corner of the room where she would defecate and on herself. Today, the medical examiner ruled Torres' cause of death to be fatal child abuse with starvation, according to WTIC TV.
Now, that was how she passed. And like I said, eventually they did find her behind this abandoned building, unfortunately, in that bin. But they hid her for a whole year. And you know what makes this even worse? DCF was involved. They fooled DCF with the fake person. claiming to be Mimi. And not only that, Carla did not have custody of her own kids at first. She had to fight to get custody of them. And then DCF finally gave her custody back of the kids. Very sad, very sad. Okay?
And was looking for warehouse style work. Does have high school education and a little bit beyond that as well. Some medical issues reported to our office, prior substance use, no mental health issues reported. In regards to cases, she is currently on parole. There is a parole remand lodged. She's on parole out of the case for New Britain, let out September 11th. Bond was set at $1 million. Bail would recommend at least that bond remain as set for $1 million. Mr. Bill. Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Carla Garcia, she is 29 years old, currently resides in New Britain. She is a lifelong resident of the state of Connecticut. Not currently employed. Some high school education reported to our office. No substance use issues, but some mental health issues have been reported. In regards to cases, no pending matters, Your Honor. Last conviction was April of 2019, again out of New Britain, assault in the third degree. She was placed on a 1 year suspended, 2 years probation. No other criminal record found for Ms. Garcia. In regards to this matter, bond was set at $5 million. That bond appears appropriate. I recommend that bond remain as set. So Mr. Nanita is 30 years old. Reports he's currently homeless in the New Britain area, has resided in Connecticut his entire life. No means of support. Some high school education reported. Denied any substance use or mental health issues. In regards to the matters, he has a warrant outstanding out of New Britain Police Department. Date of the warrant is October 11th of this year. Destroying or tampering with evidence. The bond on that matter is $750,000. So again, that's still outstanding at the New Britain Police Department. Most recent convictions, December 9th of 2022 out of New Britain. Interfering, 364 days jail consecutive. Reckless endangerment in the first degree on the same file, again 364 days jail consecutive. He also had a violation of probation. The probation was terminated on that same date. Underlying charge was a burglary in the first degree. He pled out in that 2014 out of GA 15. It was 12 years after 6 years to serve, 5 years probation. Again, another violation of probation when the probation was terminated the same date, December 9th of 2022. The underlying charge was burglary in the second degree, 5 years jail concurrent. A larceny first on that file, which was originally 12 years after 6 years to serve, 5 years probation. In addition, he had another burglary in the second degree conviction in 2015 on this matter. Same thing, the bond was set at $5 million. That appears appropriate. I recommend at least that bond remain as set.
Your Honor, I did review this warrant, given the facts and circumstances of the case, the nature of the charges, this defendant's criminal history. State is asking that bond remain as set at $5 million. State is asking for non-financial conditions of release.
Rare Redemption. My book is almost done. This book is my whole life from beginning to end. How I grew up, how I was raised, how I got into trouble. It all started with a stolen TV that I didn't even steal, and I didn't even know it was stolen. And then how that pretty much gave me a domino effect because I had a no care in the world to start committing other crimes to help pay for my family. End up going to prison. End up going to prison boot camp. Losing my own son while I'm in prison. Escaping jail a couple times. A halfway house. Going on the run for 15 years to other countries. Living under different names. And starting businesses. Turning myself in. And after all that, only getting a couple years probation, which I've already succeeded and passed and everything. And to the man I am today, which is talking to you, telling and teaching others how to succeed in life and that you can overcome anything. So if I'm proof I can do it, any of you guys can. This is going to be out very soon, okay? Rare Redemption, very soon. Please like, subscribe. Let me know where you're watching this from. City, state. I'm reaching people in Switzerland, South Africa. It is crazy. This channel is blowing up very fast. If there's any cases you guys want me to cover, let me know below. I also leave my information below as well. This is Fugitive TV. Remember, like, subscribe, turn your notifications. It helps out a lot, okay? Fugitive TV, I'm out.